Monday, February 16th. Uh, I am inputting, I got the microphone to work, so that's one thing. That means I can start using the recording equipment for recording actual music and acoustic piano. Um, I will probably try to upload on Sundays if I can do that with long format. But I am probably going to start with the most recent things that I just finished out and just post a official video of it. And then right now what I'm working on is I'm uploading all of my like compositions into software so I can put it off of like the written manuscript onto digital. That way I can actually publish it to you guys and for you guys to try. But that's what I'm working on right now. And some of it I want to make slight changes to as I'm looking at it. So I'll be doing those things while we're doing this today. And I guess talking about some after show thoughts. I really had a fantastic time yesterday. But definitely I am more amazed by the spot I recovered in. Like I did make a mistake. I don't think the goal isn't to it's yes, you want to try to get through as smoothly and as best as you can and as accurately as you can. But I think it really matters just how you recover. And there was one spot in particular that I went to the wrong section and I don't know how I got back on track. It was kind of weird because it's in the moment, I was in the wrong spot and it was almost like out of body experience. I just watched my hand just transport itself back to the right spot in time and just keep going. And I don't know, like it was a spot that I've never messed up, at least in practice before, and at least running through on the live streams. So I don't know. It was kind of a great experience with that. As far as recovery was a lot smoother, but I won't know until I hear the actual official recording when it comes out and I get to see that. I've always been scared to watch my recordings back. And that was also in part why I started this channel, was just kind of be able to listen back and then grow from that and improve. So I'm gonna continue putting the music here inside the software as we go through. And I will upload, there's one of them that I'll probably upload later this week and publish for everybody. There was a set of musical haikus that I had made quite a while ago. And I figured I could start with posting the haikus first and then going from there. But let's see. We'll go back to writing. Let's see. It's not letting me select or change it out. How come? 2, 3, 1, and 2, and 3, and. So I'm trying to. We're working in the Dorico software system to try to upload stuff. That's not the one I want. Oh, yes, thank you. Backspace. I wonder if I can see those controls don't work on here the same way. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's a staccato. I don't want to add a staccato. I want to make that a dotted half note. Let's see. I wish I could scoot you guys back just a little bit more, but then you guys would be hitting the piano. So I'm kind of in a tight space here. There. A little better. 1, 2, 3. I guess I could also make a list for like future shows of like repertoire to put out as well too. But I don't have the printer here with me to be able to print off the to-do list. So I'll have to find some blank paper. Okay. Let's pick out some Chopin to work from in this book. I'll do that as I'm uploading manuscripts. But I also need to do shows, or at least small shows, I'm going to plan for May, June, July, and August. So that'll give me some time to kind of work in the next couple of months on tidying up all of the repertoire that I do have. Ooh, there is some more paper. So part of this live stream is just holding myself accountable also. This holds me to the standard that I need to get this stuff done and plan for it. So, let me write down the repertoire that I do know and that I have been working on and or can like work and clean up. More recent ones that we did. So I'll just start from most recent ones. We did the Mozart Piano Concerto. A Happy Birthday, style Chopin. We were working on Cinderella, Prokofiev. What else? Oh yeah, we were doing the Libertango. What else? We'll write La Campanella on there because I finished that a few years ago. Campanella. Schubert Impromptu. That's number... Is it Impromptu number 2 or 3? I think it's number 3. E flat major. Okay, Alkin Etude in G major, number 3. That's Alkin. The Opus Etude. Opus Etude. Alkin. We can do the Concerto de Camera, Alkin, number 2. What is with me in like the number 2 concertos? I always love the second concertos. I don't know why. Like Alkin's Concerto de Camera number 2, Prokofiev piano, well that's a sonata number 2, but Camille Saint-Saëns piano concerto number 2 is like a favorite of mine as well too. Let's see, Concerto da Camera, Alkin. Let's just write those ones down. We can do the Etude number, that's the 20, is it 23, the B's? What number is Chopin's? Actually, it might be in this book. That one I do. Let me see. This should be in here. And while we go through this, let's highlight the ones that we do know, and I'll add it to the repertoire list. We do know. Okay. Etudes that I do know already. I do need to clean them up because I haven't at least prepped them for like performance in a long time, but I have learned them all the way and have performed them at some point in time. That's on page, okay. Let's use yellow for the intro book. I was working on the Ballade in G minor, but I haven't finished it yet. So let me add that to my to-do list on there. I haven't started the to-do list one yet, but Etudes. It is F minor. Is that a number 2 again? Okay, 120, 120, 120, 120, page 128, 125. It is a number 2 etude. Okay. I don't know. Number 2 is my lucky number, I think. Let's write that one down. Yeah, Opus 25, number 2. Okay. The next etude that I know I have covered is let me go through this list. C major etude. I had started it a long time ago, but I never actually had performed it, so I can go back and relearn that one. And then that one. We have done the C minor etude. That's number 12. Opus 10, number 12. So, Opus 10, number 12, which is the Revolutionary Etude. And this one's B's. This is Revolutionary. Okay, let's keep going. Oh, this book is thick. And it's pretty heavy too. I have done this one. In the C minor etude. The other C minor etude, which was the ocean etude. I would need to clean this one up too, for sure, but... Ah, this is the number 12. So then the revolutionary etude is the... No, that one's the... I have done this one. Opus 25 number. So hold on, this is the... There you go. This isn't revolutionary. This one was the ocean etude. Ocean. You said, what's my opinion on having 12 plus lyric writers on mainstream songs? Too excessive and non-expressive. I believe it's not the amount of lyricists that you have, but the reasons that you are publishing the song that matters. And I feel in general, a lot of times mainstream music, the purpose of pushing the music isn't for a message or for anything substantial, but just to make money. And so because it has no actual substance behind it, it lacks soul in the music. And it's not due to having too many people on working on a project. It's just the intentions of the entire project isn't there for the right reason. But yes, there can be too many people working on a project as well too. I think that you can definitely cut back on the amount of people that you need for something. And sometimes putting too much into something, overdoing it can be an overkill as well too. So, I don't know, it just... Sometimes things need time to develop. Time and patience to develop into actually something a little better. And sometimes less is more. Okay, I think... There it is, okay. I gotta write this one down. I did do... This is the other C minor etude, but this is opus... No, this is... Hold on. Opus... What am I doing? This one is opus 10, number 12. I did write that down, right? Which is revolutionary. It's happening. But then the other one is also C minor. But it's the ocean etude. Hold on, let's go back. I'm going to be so honest with you right now. For the most part, I don't listen to lyrical music as much as I listen to instrumental music. I think there's nothing wrong necessarily with lyrical music, but a lot of times I think when the lyrics are more, have the essence of poetry to them, then I am more willing to listen to it versus it being just stark messaging. And it also just depends on the musicality of everything as well too. But yeah, a lot of times I just listen to instrumental music. I feel like music is more emotional a lot of times when you listen to an instrumental. And I like listening for those harmonies and balance on that side of things. So this one is Etude C minor, but it's opus 25, number 12. So one is opus 10, number... So Etude Opus 25, and it is number 2. Yeah, I think number 2 is my lucky number, apparently. This whole list is a bunch of number 2s, and I still need to check the... I need to check the Schubert. No, I wrote down number 3, but I think it might be number 2, honestly, now that I'm writing down all these number 2s. This is the ocean one. There we go. 2 numbers swapped around. Okay, I'm going to highlight those ones as ones that I've completed, and then I will write down the other repertoire. So I'm writing a few lists. So this is a repertoire list that I've already completed that I'm going to try to make nice recordings of and put on here, like long format video. And the other list that I'm going to try to highlight is things that I would like to learn that I haven't, and add it to like my learning list. I listen to a wide variety of things. So my playlist, it goes from classical to different types of classical, neoclassical, classical, metal, rap music, rock music. There'll be some Korean music. There'll be some tribal music on there too. Some, native music of different cultures. I have, Brazilian music on my list. I have, everything. So it's not so much about where the music comes from as much as the substance of it. There are other genres that I have on there. Like I do have some pop music that's on there that I enjoy as well too. And like popular swing and stuff like that. Blues as well too. There's some blues in there. It just really depends on the piece itself or the song itself. I don't necessarily have a bias against artists or things like that. I don't have like specific favorite artists. There are favorite composers that I like playing on the piano, and it's just more that because I like not just the musical patterns and the listening side of it and the melodies, but also because it gives like my hand something interesting to do while I'm playing, and finding interest with different rhythms and different patterns to learn. Dotted notes, there we go. I need that. And then on the other thing that I'm doing at the same time is I have composition work going on the computer right now. Okay. These are lists I'm trying to write down so I can make the recordings of, and I was trying to start from more recent ones that I have more completed. I can add on the Fairy Garden from Zelda on this one, so I'll add that one on. Fairy Garden. Fairy Garden, Zelda. We'll add on Those Who Fight from Final Fantasy. Those Who Fight. Or is it... I think they changed the name of it. It's like... I don't remember what they changed the name of it to. Hello, how are you? Hope you're having a good afternoon, morning, evening, whatever time it is where you're at. It's morning here. I think still. I hope still. I have my curtains still drawn, so I'm a bit tired, honestly. I'm exhausted. After yesterday, I'm a bit exhausted. But, it's a lighter day today. It's nice outside. I was able to walk the dog, and she was able to meet some of the neighbors' pups, and Those Who Fight. What else have I completed? I would need to go back and kind of relearn it, but the Prokofiev Piano Sonata number 2. Piano Sonata number 2. And to be honest, with the Piano Sonata number 2 from Prokofiev, I I do not like the third movement of the Piano Sonata number 2. I like the first movement. I really like the second movement. And I enjoy the third movement, actually. I know some people find it. I remember when I was going through university, another classmate of mine had described it as clowns on stilts running through New York. But the third movement, I find it very fun and interesting to play. Or sorry, not the third movement, the fourth movement, but the third movement of the Piano Sonata number 2 for Prokofiev is just so utterly depressing for me. Like it sends me to a whole different other place emotionally, and like it's just can't do it. It's so hard to make it through it for me. I'm like yeah, like it's a beautiful piece. The third movement. I'm not saying it isn't a beautiful piece, but it is just so utterly depressing. Uh, I don't really know. I can't. I don't necessarily know how to describe it being piano literate, just because I started very young. I did start around like 4 or 5 years old. My mom is a piano teacher as well too, so she started me very very early, and then from a young age, I was like around 7 or 8 years old. I went to a Russian teacher, and I studied with her up until I my family had to relocate, move, and then I studied with a Chinese teacher for a while. And then I was doing competition, solo ensemble, all of that stuff in the meantime, like during that journey. And I remember I got into a argument with my mom when I was 15 or 16. Actually no, I think I was actually 14 years old. And I told her I hated piano, I wanted to quit, and I never want to do it again. And she did take a step back and like backed off. And then I did pause like taking lessons for like a year or two. And then I decided, like, I just was practicing on my own. And then I just decided I wanted to go this path instead. And I had started pre med when I was in school. Originally, I wanted to be a cardiologist or a neurologist, and I actually wanted to be a neurosurgeon and or a heart surgeon. But the older I got, the more I just realized I didn't want that type of liability in my hands, honestly, with life. And I just switched to music when I was in pre med, and I was like, I just want to go to the music school, and then I just auditioned, and I got in. And one of the professors there actually already knew me from prior, like when I was studying growing up, and so that did help in a way for me getting in. But yeah, I just continued from there. And I don't know if there's a way to say when you become piano literate, because I feel like it's honestly like climbing a never ending mountain. Because, like, even at this point, I still feel many times like I'm a novice, which I know from other people looking at it, they'll say, like, you're absolutely not a novice and you're a professional. And I don't like to compare myself to others because comparison's the thief of joy, and everybody's on their own journey. But because there's just so much discovery out there with music, and there's so many avenues that you can take, there's so many other skills that you can learn on it, it always feels like at any point in time, I'm just a student at all points in time. And so I just take it from that approach and just keep going. Piano Sonata number 2, Prokofiev. Beethoven Pathétique. I don't know what number that one is, and I swear to God, if it is a number 2 again, let's see. Oh, Beethoven Pathétique. Pathétique is number, let me see, Pathétique is number 8, opus 13. Okay, Pathétique, opus 13, number 8. And that's Beethoven. I can do the first and I learned the first and second movement of the sonata number 8. But I'm going to be so honest, I did not ever learn the third one. I can sight read the third one, but did I ever learn it to perform it? No. So we're going to add that one down because I know for sure I can sight read the third movement now. Like years ago, I had learned that one, but oh, Rachmaninoff Prelude in C sharp minor. That one's a Rachmaninoff Prelude C sharp minor. Okay. That's a number 2. That's what I was thinking. I was like, that one's another, definitely a number 2. It's opus 3, number 2. Opus 3, number 2, and this is Rachmaninoff. Well, you can do the, Tchaikovsky. We can do the Camille Saint-Saëns Carnival of the Animals. I did learn most of the Carnival of the Animals, but I didn't do all of it. You said I'm good. Isn't there also a dual-wielding sword to this adventure? There's technical side and there's emotional sides. Sometimes emotional side creates ingenuity, especially in art. Yeah, so that basically is it. It just depends. I lean on, and this is also why I struggled a bit more on the competition side of things. Not that I struggled in competition, but competition relies on technical. It's fully technical. They could care less about your emotions that you put into it. They want to make sure that everything is accurate, spot on to the T, that all your articulations are exactly spot on, your dynamics are exactly spot on. Like, they're taking it from the viewpoint if they're sitting with the sheet music and they're looking at it and like diagnosing everything that you did, versus a lot of times sometimes people will play from like the emotional side. I feel like music is an emotional language, and I feel like it's supposed to speak to your soul in that sense with the emotion. And yes, being technical, having the technical side gives you structure and it gives you that balance that the emotion needs on that side, but I think it really needs both. And that was one reason why I kind of took myself out of the competition side of things. Because for me, it was kind of soul killing in a way of doing like competitions all the time. How long have I played music? 26 years. Well, 26 years. But that was why, like, when I was studying kind of on my own and practicing on my own and going through music school, I was more on I wanted to do more soloist work. Because as a soloist, you really get to have your own balance. Like, you get to do what you want to do, honestly. So, you get to take that art form. And for me, music and sound itself is an actual textile. It's something that is malleable for me and feeling it. So I think of it in a way like when you're shaping clay and when you're shaping or molding ceramics or doing stuff like that. Did you do any graduation? Yes, I went to university. So I got my 4-year bachelor's in music. And then I did do a 2-year certificate after that. But honestly, after that, I didn't want to do any more school. So I just stopped because I was like, I just really want to study myself and I don't want to have people like, if I was going to do a like PhD program or past that post grad, I feel like at that point it's just you're paying to get hazed and you're paying to get bullied, at least on the education side. So I would rather take that study for myself and apply it to life versus continually having people tell me what I need to do or not do, or, put that type of pressure. I'd rather just have life pressure at that point. Both. I really enjoy performing. Performing is honestly my outlet, and it's a motivator for myself. However, I really do enjoy teaching, and I really do enjoy being able to explain these things back to somebody else. And it is very rewarding when somebody else is understanding or grasping it, or when you're seeing them grow, or even when you see a student kind of go past maybe there were struggles that I had when I was younger, when I was learning, and seeing somebody else kind of go through those same problems and being able to kind of explain it in a way to help them through it and be able to give that guidance, especially when I was younger. And there's moments that I didn't understand certain things, and it maybe took me a while to grasp it, but now being able to explain it back to somebody so that they're able to grasp it quickly is like very rewarding. And I think music is important. I mean, there's a lot of people that go around life saying that music isn't important and stuff, but music and art is super important. Like, it's part of everybody's culture, and it's inside of everybody's homes, inside of everybody's life at any point in time. Like, everything that you wake up to is part of music and art. And I think everybody takes that for granted. It's like, even like the very first songs that you ever learned in life, just think about your alphabet song. Your alphabet song isn't your alphabet song. That's Mozart's Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. It's the 12 variations of Mozart, and people don't realize that they're listening to that, and that's what they're growing up on, and everybody just knows it as the A, B, C, D, E, F, G. But no, it's a whole 12-minute piece that you can go listen to that was composed hundreds of years ago. And it's just a part of everybody's culture and everyday life and learning, and we take that for granted and dismiss it as just interesting sounds and notes on a page, and it's so much more than that. Well, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Prelude, C sharp minor, Rachmaninoff. We did do the Ramu, the Cyclops, and that's Ramu. Ram M A E A U, Ramea U. Okay, and then we have Le Vertigo, and that's Royer. Vertigo, Royer. Tchaikovsky's, it's the Black Swan, but it's the Odile. Yeah, it's not the Odette variation, but the Odile variation. I like the Odile variation so much better, and I don't mean the one that was recomposed later. I mean the original one. I have never necessarily guided a student to go professional with it. I have a few students who are studying in university right now. I do have one student who's continuing with me, although they are studying at university as well too. But it's more of, if they say they want to go that route, then I'll encourage it. But I've never told a student that it was something that I feel like they have to do or should do. I have had a few students that genuinely have amazed me, because they are naturally. So I have two students that are both on the spectrum, but without any prior music lessons, without any prior music skills, without prior knowledge of anything, they can transpose the songs that they learn to any key on the spot with almost minimal mistakes. And that amazes the mess out of me every single time that they do it, just because I know, like, for some people, and like including me, like having the theory side definitely helped on that growing up. But this is just something that they're gifted and able to do. And sure, having the theory side is something that bolsters it, and I'm able to give them that side and understanding how to read it. But, you know, I just encourage if it's something that they're into and it's something that they enjoy, and it's as long as they want to learn, I am that person that will give them, you know, all of the knowledge that I know. I will just pass it on to them. And, you know, I just take it from that approach. Anytime I have lessons, I feel like I'm the table, and any students that want to take any fruit and food and knowledge off of that table, I'm here for that. And they can get what they can get from it. And my goal is to have them be as fluent as they can with music to the best of my ability. And from wherever they take it from that point, they can. I appreciate, and it has been a motivator for the students who have personally told me that they have pursued music or want to become music teachers because they took lessons with me and because they enjoyed the lessons that they had with me. But, you know, everybody has their own life journey. I wouldn't, if a student, even if they were gifted, if something else spoke to them and they said they wanted to do that, you know, that's their thing to do. I would encourage them to probably continue to maybe keep playing music and just use it as like a hobby and an outlet, and I would encourage them to not give up on it. But, you know, it's their life after all. I can't dictate somebody else's choosings. La Vertigo Royer, what else did we learn? We learned, oh yeah, I keep forgetting to write it down. So it's the, I know it's the Odile, Swan Lake, Tchaikovsky piano variation. And I like the original Odile variation because there is a, it's like if you know the story of Swan Lake, and she's the antagonist's daughter, so she's trying to seduce the prince and like trick him into breaking his promise with Odette. And so hers is supposed to be like a sense of, she's seducing, but there's also supposed to be some sense of leeriness to it and a sense of, you know, she doesn't have good intentions behind it. It's supposed to be this, I like it. It's kind of a mesmerizing piece. You can kind of feel the intensity behind it, the allure and drama. Yes, laundry is done. I'm not going to get the laundry though right now. I will change it out later. Maybe I should make a theme and variation on the laundry's done theme. Add that to my composition list. I'll do it. Hopefully Samsung doesn't copyright it though, or try to if I do. I'll do a theme and variation on laundry's done. Let's see, what other, I'm working on right now the Camille Saint-Saëns number, Piano Concerto number 2. That one I'm working on with a student. So I didn't give them a timeline though, because I didn't want to put that pressure on them to have it finished at a certain time. So I told them, take your time. Like, I'm going to teach it to you and you'll learn it and learn the parts, but I'm not having them, you know, have a deadline for getting it performed. Although I would like to perform it this year, but that's probably not going to happen until next year. Odile Swan Lake. So Odile variation. I'm happy I got the microphone to actually work with the Focusrite as well too. So I know because I'm using my phone right now, I won't be able to like adjust the dials and stuff as far as like what I'm using, but this is a start. and I can work from there. Dial variation Tchaikovsky. What other? Oh, I wrote down. I was supposed to write down the Carnival of the Animals, Camille Saint-Saëns, Carnival of the Animals. I like Carnival of the Animals. It's fun. It's whimsical, and I think it's a good balance of the we were talking about the emotion and technical side of music. Carnival of the Animals is a good one for me to have like the kids do. Like when I do like transcribed easier versions of it, but just getting their imagination working and listening for sounds and imitating life with those sounds. Carnival of the Animals is a fun one to do with the kids. Carnival of the Animals, Camille Saint-Saëns. I didn't finish out, but I am going to the Peter and the Wolf Prokofiev. I did do the duck on that one. And I liked doing the cat and the duck. You said it's interesting the algorithm recommends your content exclusively because of the aspect ratio of streaming off phone. Yeah, that's mostly why I like streaming off of the phone, honestly, too, is because when you think about it, most people, like, phones are miniature computers. Most people have their phones in their hands, and it's easily accessible. And it used to be that you would scroll for like shorts, but then when they started putting like the live streams in with the shorts, I was like, honestly, that's kind of a good segue into. 'Cause most of the time, honestly, I don't come on here and talk that much. I would say this is a very rare occurrence of me coming on here and talking. Um, but I figured I could just live stream my practice sessions. And because I don't usually talk on stream and I just play, that way if people are scrolling and maybe I figure because like example when I'm scrolling, it's that doom scrolling where you're just kind of seeing the same tunes, the algorithm pushes the same things that it thinks that you like. And then just to come across, I figure if it's just like a relaxing music stream, especially when you've been like stressed, doom scrolling. I was like, maybe if people want to tune into that, like practice puts me in a different headspace. So I'm able to be calm and kind of take that edge off of life. And so I hope to do the same with other people when they're scrolling on their phones. No, I enjoy talking too. I'm just the creative process that's happening today is more of like planning. And this stream is for more of like the talking and engaging with the audience because I don't usually do that. So no, feel free to comment and converse back. I enjoy it. And today is a lighter day. I'm thankful for I didn't actually intend on like canceling classes for today, but I had a few families that went away for vacation, and because it's President's Day, I think like a lot of schools are closed. So I did have some other families like just take the day off. So I do have a couple like later in the afternoon lessons to go to, but other than that, I was just gonna plan like after concert yesterday. I was just gonna plan and take the day to just write down things and hold myself accountable. Hello, welcome. So glad that you can join. Um, but yeah, the plan is that at least on Sundays, well, it's kind of a couple of things that I'm planning because I won't probably be performing again until like the springtime. So I was trying to think for like May, June, July, and August, and maybe September. It does. And um yeah, so I figured since I have a lull from like performing, I can I figured I would post maybe some long format videos on the channel. And to be honest, I am potentially going to go through I know I did private all of my other long form videos, and I did delete some of them, and that's not because of anything other than I would like to redo them and do a better version of it since I do now have like the audio interface and I have the microphone so I can hook it up. I teach all ages. So my youngest is 5 and my oldest student is 82. So I teach all ages. You can start at no matter what age. And as long as I figure anything, and I always tell my students this too when they ask me, some students ask me, do you think I'll ever be able to achieve, let's say, X, Y, and Z? And I always say, I mean, you achieve whatever you want to achieve. I was like, if you're willing to put the work in and if you're willing to give it the time and effort, you can definitely do it. And you said, and do you perform at a separate institute or from where you teach? So I have my own like school studio that I teach from. And that's located in a different city, but it's in Michigan. That's where I go for like local classes, and everybody will come to for lessons there. There's a small like little recording booth in the back, but that's mostly for again like using it for the students. So then, as they're taking their lessons, they can record songs or record their music, get their feedback. Later on, I might open that for like more public use and letting people come in to like record their own music and stuff like that without having to necessarily take lessons. But I haven't opened it up for that purpose yet. And then performing just depends. So there's different like halls and venues that you can perform at. However, at least for this upcoming summer, I guess the plan is that I would like to do more of like a Sati-esque type of performance where I just go to where I just go to different like parks and like public spaces or areas, and I can just play more like ambient like classical music and just as people are playing and just walking around and doing their daily stuff. But I know I'm trying to be careful with that because the laws are very gray around all of that. So, example, scalping is legal. So, being outside with like an instrument and playing music in your own space and like setting up a tip jar technically is legal. But certain cities and certain like areas have bylaws for like music performance and like sizing. So I'm trying to be careful with it just depending on where I go. But over the summer, I would like to travel and not just keep it like necessarily in Michigan. Like I have traveled quite a bit over the United States, and I have traveled internationally as well too. And with those performances, I performed at like different universities when I was doing the international travel. So it wasn't like necessarily at a performance hall like it wasn't like Carnegie Hall and stuff like that, but it was at different like the halls at the different universities. Um, I don't. I would like to travel more in the U.S. and just over this summer, maybe just be able to like place myself in different areas and just play music. Would filming it for YouTube be a loophole, or would that be even worse? I don't know. That's why I say I have to be careful with it. Some places don't care kind of what you do as long as you're kind of like in your personal space, like you're not taking up too much space. But then other places, again, like, some places just the city is full of Karens. So I just want to be careful about where I go. So it's like, even if I'm just doing something that's peaceful and ambient, sometimes people have issues with it. So I have been trying to at least research, like, if I'm going somewhere, like their bylaws and stuff, just to make sure it's not going to be like a big issue. If I have to reach out to somebody, then I'm probably not going to want to go there. But if it's just like a gray area of I can just go out to like a park and enjoy myself, I'll do it. Um, let's see. But I figure that's a good way just to kind of do my own performances without having, I can just use the planet as my use the planet as my concert hall instead of going to an actual concert hall. Um Dial Variation, Carnival of the Animals. There was another Saint-Saëns piece. Hold on, let me go in my playlist because there's some pieces in my playlist that I have already learned that I'm not thinking about right now. It's not coming to my head. I am in Michigan, so it's a little bit more lax here. So again, it's more like city to city or like county to county that it would vary at least here. But I guess during the summer, if I do travel a little bit more and I go out of state, then it's like that's where I say I have to be a little bit more careful about like state to state where I go. Like Michigan, I'm a little bit more comfortable like knowing and being familiar with it being my home state. But especially if I travel out of state, then I want to just be respectful of where I'm going and what, those cities would have going on. Okay, let's see. My playlist is, let's see, classical playlist. I have a bunch of different playlists. And then my playlist as well too. I don't have all of the songs that I necessarily enjoy aren't even on the playlist. Sometimes the playlist, the songs that I have on there, they just segue into other music that I also enjoy. Ooh. Oh, Saltarella, Alkin Saltarella. I have to clean that one up though. That one I know I posted a short of a few months ago and my left hand was fighting for its life. It was not having a good time getting through some of those stretches. Saltarella. Saltarelle. That's Opus 23, Alkin. And of course, I'm gonna at some point during the live try to play this. Go to South Africa and do it. I feel like I would need a little bit more travel experience before I go there, but I can put it on my bucket list because I do have like places I would like to travel internationally and go to and at least play or perform at some point in time. I already added those ones. Oh, Barcarolle. The Barcarolle and the La Chanson de Foule. La Chanson de Foule. It's the Mad Woman by the Sea. It's Alkin. But let's do the Barcarolle. Barcarolle. That's OP 65, number 6. Alkin. Lee, that's enough. I heard you. It's okay. There's people in the parking lot. They can do that. Calm down. Okay. I'm gonna just write The Mad Woman by the Sea. Mad Woman by the Sea, Alkin. Mozart's Lacrimosa is another one that I do know. Lacrimosa. Mozart. I am a fan of Mozart's. Honestly, his minor works and his later works are very enjoyable. I was working on the La Festen des Sculpes Alken. That one's going to take me a while, though. It's a killer. I did learn the months, so Alken Lemoy. I didn't learn all of them because there's one of them on here that I just can't get with. That one is actually, I'm going to play it right quick so we can listen to it.
Planet Fitness.
Hold on.
We're all strong on this planet. Run more, everybody.
Let's see.
Chevy Silverado.
Ads.
Technology you can rely on.
Okay, so there is numbers. Are these timestamped? They're not timestamped. Oh, there we go. So I do know January. I know February, Carnival. I do know March, April, May. I didn't learn, is it June that I didn't learn? Yeah, I need to really learn June, but I like it. Hello, how are you? Hope you're having a good day so far. So I need to finish up June. July was the one I did. Hold on. July I did learn, but I need to redo that one. I did play the Harvesters August for a performance a long time ago. I liked this one too. This was a fun one to play when I did. Hello. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I can recall that one. That one would be an easy one. So Alkin Lemoy. The one I didn't do is, I think, yeah, I didn't do September. I don't like September. This one. Musical arranger will probably enhance and update the piece. Understand a musical arranger. So I guess you can just think of like an arranger as somebody who helps make things a bit more organized, just in a way. Like if you have a lyricist and you have a pianist, maybe they haven't necessarily worked together. You have a musical arranger who puts them two together and you kind of make that collab work, and they help line up and organize, what those parts come together as. So like two people on their own can work together like that, but it is helpful if you have somebody there. It's like, I think of a musical arranger as similar to like the conductor of like an orchestra. Like you can have a whole orchestra members all together. They're that kind of final pinhole to kind of help keep it all locked in together in a way. So I still don't like September. This is that piece. I usually like Alkin, but I don't like September from the months piece. So if I do play the months, I'm gonna be so honest, I am probably gonna skip over September. Like I will play October. October is called the Foul Wind, which makes sense. That matches Michigan. But I like playing it. It's a fun exercise between that oscillating and keeping it rhythmic and 12s. Yeah, it's like you gotta stay on that rhythm. This does remind me of October a lot, though. I have no idea why he called November the Dying Man, but we're going to listen to the Dying Man in November. Alkin was having some months that year. If you're ending your 11th month with the Dying, it's called the Dying or the Dying Man. And then December is the opera. And I'm going to be so honest, I probably am not going to learn this one either. Maybe. I could try it. I could do this one. Okay, let's not be afraid of that. Okay, so we'll do the Alkin, the months, but I'm skipping over September because can't do that. So Le Moy, Alkin. And then that also reminds me that I also learned the fairies from Tchaikovsky's Cinderella, or not Cinderella, it is Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty. Fairies. I didn't learn the Lilac Fairy because I don't like the Lilac Fairy for whatever reason. It's very pretty to, like, okay, here's what I have against the Lilac Fairy. It's a beautiful ballet to watch, the choreography. I love watching the choreography for Lilac Fairy. I don't like the piece for Lilac Fairy. I feel like it doesn't match lilacs, and it gives me it has a slightly depressing feel to it when I listen to the Lilac Fairy. Like, I feel like it should be like a honeysuckle. Has like a drunken feel to it. But I feel like lilacs are so much more bright and like Sleeping Beauty Fairies. This is Tchaikovsky. So when I'm writing down these pieces, this is repertoire I've already learned throughout the years, and there's still more that I'm adding to this right now, but a lot of these are like concertos, sonatas, so there's like more than one piece to it. I just feel like there's better ones. I don't know. Like, what other Tchaikovsky have I done? I've done a little bit on the Swan Lake Tchaikovsky as well too. Oh, Mozart's the Rondo alla Turca. I know that one. Beethoven's the Rage Over a Lost Penny, which is the Rondo. Oh, I can't think of the number right now. Rage Over a Lost Penny. Beethoven. We can also do, what did I just say? All these pieces are getting mumble jumbled in my head. We said Rage Over a Lost Penny, Beethoven. Oh, Rondo alla Turca. Rondo alla Turca, Mozart. What else? I know I can play Beethoven for Release and Moonlight Sonata. Do I want to? Not necessarily. But I will make a professional recording for YouTube of those ones. Oh. There's I did it a long while ago, but I actually want to do this one too. Neptune. The Holst planets. Neptune. Holst, the planets. Neptune. And Mussorgsky's pictures at an exhibition. those ones, there's a couple of them on there that I like. I don't necessarily like all of them. And I'm going to be so honest with Holst. I pretty much just like Neptune. There's one other planet that I can somewhat like, but do I like listening to the planets? No. they're great pieces, but they're not ones that I can. They stress me out a little bit. Especially like Jupiter and Mars. They just stress me out. Like it causes anxiety and stress. This is not calming music. It doesn't need to be calming all the time, but it's an amazing brass section. I just Neptune's. I just need the piano score for a piano solo for Neptune. Imagine me playing Mars on piano solo. Arrangements, transcriptions. Can I just do Neptune? They have one for Mars, Venus, and Mercury, the winged messenger. Let's do, there's Saturn. Where's Neptune? Neptune, the mystic. And they don't have it for piano. They have it for organ. They have it for 2 organs. I want a piano solo of Neptune. Not a piano reduction. Give me the whole thing. Where was it? A long time ago, I had found a sheet music for the whole thing. Like, I could write one. I just don't want to take the time to do that right now. Let's see. Can I find a... I like Neptune. It's a little eerie, but I like the... Hold on. I don't know if I'll be able to find it today. We'll see if we can find it. Rondo alla Turk we wrote down. Let's just write it down. Neptune Mystic. This is Holst. What else? What else? What else? What's it called? Oh, it just came to my head and now it's gone. Why? What was it? What was it? What was it? What was it? Oh, I can do it's not the chosen one. It's the what is the name? That's gonna bug me. Hold on. I'm gonna find it. Waltz. Force, no. I could do Force Your Way, because that one's a cool one. Waltz. I can do this one. Succession of inches. Oh, Alkin Prelude number 2. We're on to the second page. Okay, this is called, what is it called? Okay, hold on. Final Fantasy VIII Piano Collections. It's in there. Give me the titles. I just need the titles. I don't need to see. And I just need to see. Can I see the table of contents, please? No. I just need table of contents. No. The Successor is what it's called, and it just came to my head. Have a good afternoon. It's the successor. The successor. It's Nuboyo Uematsu. Nuboyo Uematsu. Nuboyo Uematsu. There we go. Okay. What other pieces can I play? Oh, I do from the ballad number 1 or number, is it number 2? The ballad, Brahms ballad. Number G minor. It's in G minor. That's the bum bum ballad opus 10 number 1. Number 10. That's Brahms. I can do the Hungarian dance. Is it number 5? Yeah. Hungarian dance number 5, Brahms. I was working on I think it's the first or the second, the first one. That one. You said the Barks France is the best song I've ever heard. I will have to look it up. I'm going to write it down. I'll listen to it later because I haven't heard of that piece. But I will write it and listen to it. Francois. Wow. Kupernin? Is it It's Kupernin? Is it Kupernin? Kupernin. Kupernin. It evokes so much. Okay, I will listen to it. Probably on my my commute to the school later. I did learn. Oh, Tauzik. I did learn the Ghost Ship a long time ago. Tauzik. I can relearn that one. Tauzik Ghost Ship and the Dance Macabre list. So, Ghost Ship, Tauzik, and then the Dance Macabre. And that would be, it's Camille Saint-Saëns, but Liszt did a transcription of it. So Camille Hart Liszt is what I'll write. Okay. How about, I did do this one a long time ago, the homage, the Hetero Villa Lobos homage of Chopin a long while ago. I gave up middle of learning that one. I'll have to come back to it. I'm in the middle right now of learning the Piano Concerto number 2 from that's the Camille Saint-Saëns right now. I wrote those 2 down. Solfeggietto, CPE Bach. I've been doing that one. Solfeggietto. And that's CPE Bach. And I can also do, there's a bunch of Bach pieces too I can write down. Oh my gosh. Mussorgsky a tear I can do. Oh, and also what's it called? That's not Mussorgsky. That's a Mendelssohn. Mendelssohn's a fantasy on last summer, or last summer, a fantasy on the rose of last summer. I forget the name of that piece. I'm mixing up the titles. A Fantasy on the Rose of Last Summer or something like that by Mendelssohn. Okay, so we said a tier, Mussorgsky, and we can also do the Mendelssohn, a fantasy. I'll just write down a fantasy. Mendelssohn. We did the Tausig, das Geisterschiff is written down. What else have I learned? You know, I need to do the Coriolan Overture, Beethoven on piano, but I haven't learned that one yet. I do know how to do the Allegro non troppo Picchita Variation 5, but I need to clean that. That's the Schernen Allegro non troppo. And that's Schernen. I was learning that one. I wrote that one down. You said, or do I need the notations in front of me to listen to it? I don't need the notations in front of me to listen to it. I need the notations in front of me if I'm genuinely going to learn it. I can pluck away and learn stuff by ear, but ear only leads you so far. I think it's very important to have an understanding of actually how to read the music on the page, because there's so much more information reading it than you would just picking it up by ear. Because when you're picking up stuff by ear, it is literally you're playing a game of telephone. So just like when you're a kid and you play the game of telephone and you repeat it back, you're going to be missing a lot of the cue points. Versus if two people pick up the same book and turn to the same page and both read it out loud, there might be different nuances on how you say the words, but the words are going to be clear, the message is going to be clear, and what you both are going to be saying at the end of the day is the same thing. So I think about it from that perspective, but like I don't necessarily need to have the music in front of me, but I like having the music in front of me so I can really understand what the composer and what the writer wants me to do on the instrument. I was learning the Etude Opus 39 number 2 by Elkin, but I haven't finished that one. I like the middle of that one more than I like the beginning. This the he has a lot of Spanish themes in his music, and it's kind of fun to play those elements. Okay, this list. Oh, from the Parasite film, I know the Shipuguri is that one. And then I was learning the I forget what it's called. Oh my goodness. I was learning the other part of it too, but I didn't finish that out. Okay, this list is getting very long of repertoire that I do know, and this isn't all of it. This is just what I can recall from right now. Oh yeah, at least from those days, I did also do the. I wrote those ones down. I wrote that one down. Haydn Sonata in F major. Sonata in F, Haydn. I didn't write down all the Bach that I know right now, because I haven't written down any Bach that I know right now. So that's going to be a whole nother separate list, probably, but I did write down those ones. Here's what I'm going to do. I am, at some point, going to at least play some of these on the piano and see how they're sounding right now from this list.
And most of these I had at least memorized at some point, so I'm going to try to see what I can do from memory of most of these. Probably not all of them, but at least a good portion. What else is on this list? I already added the list. La Campanella already, I think. Yeah, that's on the other page. I used to know that one. I'd have to relearn it. The Francis Lai, the theme from Love Story. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. That one. What else do we know? I do know those ones, but I'm gonna, oh my gosh, those are like classical repertoire works. No, I memorize all of the pieces that I perform, so I don't perform with music. So I've never performed with sheet music in front of me. The last time I did performing with sheet music in front of me when I was like 8 years old. And that was for maybe like a solo ensemble competition, and I just, was still learning how to read music. And then everything else from past the point I was 8 years old, that was when I started, or 7, 8 years old is when I switched to the Russian teacher, and everything had to be memorized. I wasn't allowed to perform anything if it wasn't memorized. And it didn't matter if I had 5, 6 pieces. Like, there's been times I've had to perform 10 to 12 pieces all in one set, and it's all memorized. So that's how I have to operate sometimes. I'm kind of curious if this microphone will pick up if I don't put it, like, I know if I set up the condenser mic inside of the actual piano, it'll pick up the sound a lot better. But just for the purpose of today, and so that you guys can hear me, because I have other microphones, they're just not here at home, they're at the studio. Just for like the purpose of today, I'm gonna see if I just put the microphone next to me, if it'll pick up some of what I'm playing at least. I'm gonna have to switch this around right quick. Oh, let's see. It should. I don't see why it wouldn't have a problem doing it, but oh my gosh. This is playing Ring Around the Rosie with all of the equipment right now. Sorry, microphone. I'm gonna try to move you. Oh boy, we're caught on some stuff here. Here, tighten that up. And let me grab the list because I dropped the list. Oh boy. Okay. I've got the list, and I can scooch this all back. I'm gonna angle this a little bit more down. Yes, the phone is on like a whole tripod stand. The phone is on a tripod stand, and the microphone's on a tripod stand. And then there's all of the wiring for not just the microphone, but also the computer and the audio cables that hook up to the phone so that I can connect the microphone to the phone. This is like, when I first started the channel, this is completely why I did not want to have necessarily all of this like recording equipment and stuff. But I do know it's going to be more beneficial for the channel if I do better quality recordings and I put out more completed works as in like long format stuff. So it's a give and take, and it's double-edged sword. So I'll have to deal with it and figure out a better way to do audio or cable management. But it's the tripod stands that are a little hard to move around and manage. I just hope I don't see why it wouldn't pick up the way it needs to, but it might be a little, I don't know, not the best audio take. We'll see. I'm not gonna do the Mozart because I've been playing that and I just did that yesterday. But I am gonna try the Happy Birthday in the style of Chopin again today and see, because I didn't do it yesterday for the encore. I was going to, and then the Mozart I felt went well enough that I didn't want to like sour it if I messed up on the encore. Because again, like, I don't perform with music up there, so it just, and also like right now this is just that list of repertoire that's in front of me. So I'll just leave that there. This is gonna go off to the side. have the. Cinderella. I'm not gonna do this one because it'll get copyrighted right on stream. There's a couple of them that'll get copyrighted like right away, so I'm not gonna do it right now. But I'll do it later. And then it says impromptu in E flat major. I'm just going through the list and seeing how much of this I can actually memorize and play right now. I can clean up La Campanella probably the soonest. And of course the Mozart, because I just did that one. But like, okay. So then let's try the impromptu in E flat major, which I did a little bit more recently. I'm going to try not to hit the microphone, but I'm going to try to bring you guys in a little closer so I don't have to. There. Adjust the mic a little bit. Okay, so far the other ones are fine memorized. Let's try this one. I know this one will be fine, but let's try
Not doing the repeat today. We're not doing the repeat. And it got mad that I was not doing the repeat. Like, you're doing the repeat today. Then it goes to the coda. Okay, that's E flat. And then let's try the Alka number, it says number 3 etude. I know, sorry, I'm getting carried away with the memory stuff, but hold on, I can't read that far away. Hold on. It's very impressive. Hand tendons at the gym right now. Yeah, they pretty much are. Okay, so then we go on to the Alkin etude number 3, which I did more recently as well too. So we're the number, I skipped over the first one. I skipped over Libertango because that'll get copyrighted. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 pieces in. So then let's try the Alkin etude. Let's see how that goes. Okay, I'm gonna drop the mic. Hold on. Let me just get you guys back just a little bit. I'm not trying to bump into you guys, but. Now doing the repeats. etude in G major, number 3, Falcon, and then we'll do the Opus etude, which is I call it the woo woo, the woo woo etude, woo woo etude, Opus etude, and the number 1. memory goes up too. Let's see. The next one on the memory list, that was the Opus Etude Alkin. We can do the Concerto de Camera Alkin, first and second movement for memory. So that's from memory, that's Concerto de Camera. I'll clean it up later. And then we said the Chopin B's Etude was memorized too. So we'll go through that. Hold on. Apologize. I'm piano at an early age. Thank you, I appreciate it. Okay, let's try. That would be here. No, here. It's the B's. Let's see how well I make it in the rev. I don't know if I'll make it through the Revolutionary Etude today, at least at full tempo, and the Ocean Etude. But Fairy Garden, I might be able to make it through. I can't do Those Who Fight because it'll get copyright claimed if I do that one. Piano Sonata number 2 is the... which I know I can't make it through the whole thing right now. And we're the second movement. I'm probably not gonna make it through all the way either. I like the middle of the second movement. And I like the middle of the second second movement, but I know I won't be able to make it through the first, second, or third movement right now. Or not third movement, fourth movement. I don't like the third movement, but I'll still play the third movement. Pathetique, I don't remember the middle of it, but I can play through some of it. Oops. It's okay. Da-da, da-da, and then 2, 3. as I can remember. That's as far as I can go. Okay, and then the next one is the Rachmaninoff Prelude in C sharp minor, which is this one. Remember the ending chords or the order. I get the order mixed up, like, at least right now, unless I set the sheet music. So stuff like that. Sometimes I'll mix up like the order of things if I don't have the sheet music. But so far, that's at least like the how many did I do? I'm on number like 7, 8. Okay, and the next one would be the Cyclopes. Le Cyclops, Remu. La Vertigo Arroyo, I don't think I'll be able to make it through smoothly. But that one I can clean up later on and then go back and do it. And then the Odile variation. It's this one. Wait, hold on. To there. Okay. Hold on, let's do that intro again. Messy at the ending, but that's okay. We're just not sight reading, but we're just doing from memory today as best as we can, getting through as much as we can. Next would be the Carnival of the Animals, but let me check timing right quick because I do have to teach at some point today. So let me go check timing right quick. Yes, it is getting about that time. So let me. Oh. I'm gonna get ready to head out to teach, but then I am gonna be back on. Let me adjust this mic. I am gonna be back on a little bit later today, because I still have to finish out doing what I was doing just now. But it'll probably be soon, because today again is a light day. But thank you guys so much for tuning in, and hope you guys have a good afternoon. I will see you guys later, and I appreciate you said really cleaver intone. Oh, clear intonation. Thank you so much. Sorry, took me a second to read that. But yeah, I do appreciate you guys. To care of Bell. Oh, Carol of the Bells. Did you mean? Oh, Carol of the Bells. I think what they meant. But thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you guys have a good afternoon. I will be back on later today, but I just have to go teach some lessons, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.